we are going to talk about the Isaiah Torres case. So I do have to let you know that this video is intended for mature audiences because it contains graphic and alarming details about child abuse and murder. 6-year-old Isaiah Torres of Bella Vista, Arkansas, took his last breath on March 29th around 11 p.m. His mother, Kathy Torres, called 911 requesting assistance, and the medics that responded noticed that this poor kid had several, lacerations and mega bruising all over his body. So they went ahead and contacted the Bella Vista Police Department to notify them of, suspected abuse. So the Bella Vista Police Department arrived to the residence and started questioning the parents on what happened. How did he get in this condition? And the parents said that they had just arrived home from a camping trip. They said that they didn't understand, what could cause him to be in this condition, but all the signs on his body, it told another story. Isaiah was taken to Mercy Hospital, where sadly they were unable to resuscitate him. Isaiah was officially pronounced dead on the 30th around 12:23 a.m. After Isaiah passed away, both parents were taken to the Bella Vista Police Department separately so that, they could start the interview process. And when they spoke with his mom, Kathy Torres, she said that he had complained about a tummy ache that day, and that she took him home and gave him some Pepto and green tea, and that he seemed like he was fine. Kathy stated that he walked into the house, he helped carry stuff, and that he even went in and took a shower on his own. And she said that she had not seen any of the bruising or anything on his body, any of the cuts. Kathy also stated that Isaiah was a very clumsy child, that he would run into doorknobs and things like that and hurt himself, and that he had fell, climbing, and that's probably how he got the infection. And so whenever they asked about her husband, Mauricio Torres, she just stated that she didn't do it. His dad had another story to tell, though. Mauricio said that after they had bathed him, that they put him in the master bedroom, gave him Pepto and green tea, and just thought he would sleep it off. And then they went in and he was found unresponsive. According to his sisters, when they were interviewed, the girls said that their parents had to carry him in the house, that he was not awake for the car ride home, and that the parents took him into the bedroom and laid him on the bed and undressed him for the shower, and that their father Mauricio had to hold him up while their mom bathed him because they couldn't wake him up. He wasn't awake. And so something's not adding up. 4 people, 3 stories. When the search warrant was executed, the detectives were shocked at the amount of blood that they found throughout the house. It was on the walls, on the ceilings, it was on objects throughout the house, beds, everything. So it was quite disturbing. The detectives go back to Mauricio and Kathy because they just want the truth of what happened. Now Kathy decides to start talking. And as she's talking, she's pushing all of the blame on her husband. Kathy said that Mauricio would hit Isaiah with such force that it would make him bleed. And, he was very rough with her son. And she also claimed that she was in fear of her husband, and she knows that that's why her son died. She said that the girls would tattle on Isaiah just so that they would get him in trouble. And then, their father would call them in for a meeting, and after they had a family meeting in the bedroom, he would send Kathy and the girls out, and he would beat Isaiah. She said that, she didn't know what happened in there. But the truth was, her and his sisters all joined in on the abuse as well. So nobody was innocent in this, except for Isaiah. So now Mauricio is ready to confess, finally. He said that on that fateful day for Isaiah, that Isaiah was seen with a face full of cake. And so this angered Kathy, and Mauricio said that typically, he would punish Isaiah by spanking him or making him do exercises, but he didn't feel like this was working anymore. So he put a stick up his ass and put him in a corner to do squats. Mauricio said that this wasn't the first time that he had punished him this way, that he had done it once before like this, but, this time, and Kathy was present. But he said that this time, Kathy didn't think that he was doing the squats fast enough, so she went over and pushed him down on a stick. This was what actually led to the infection that caused his death. So he also stated that his wife and daughters would hit Isaiah when he wasn't around, and that she was abusive as well, and he tried to stop her, but she wasn't having it either. When the sisters were questioned further, they testified that Mauricio, the father, would actually pull Isaiah's teeth out with pliers while the kid was screaming, crying, and trying to get away. That they would drench his skin with pure bleach, and he actually got chemical burns, which landed him in the children's hospital before down here. And that they would beat him, his father would beat him with extension cords, weights, anything that he could find, sticks, whatever was nearby. He would pick it up and beat him with it, including the fireplace poker. So this child was also forced to stay in a trash bin for a month. He had to drink urine and eat shit. He suffered 23 injuries and wounds to his head, which was actually revealed in the autopsy. So when this case went to trial the first time, it's actually been through 3 trials now. The first time, Mauricio Torres was given the death penalty for capital murder. And of course, Kathy Torres, she went ahead and pled guilty and testified against her husband in exchange for life in prison without parole, because she didn't want to gamble with the death penalty. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think should have happened to the parents? I want to know, was mom given a harsh enough sentence for her part in these crimes against her own child? Were the siblings, the 2 sisters, were they equally accountable? Because nobody said anything. And, one of these girls had a job she went to every day. These kids volunteered at the Samaritan House with their family, yet nobody reached out for help for this boy. Everybody put their hands on him. I don't know how this was missed. With all the doctors and all the people that had been around them, how did nobody see signs of trauma? And with him going into, the ER and things like that, getting help from doctors, why did nobody suspect child abuse? Why would you think a child is this clumsy? I know whenever my son fell and broke his nose pulling the trash can up from the road, I know they had me step out of the room and they asked my son if, his life was in danger or if he felt like I was abusive. And my son laughed about it. He's like, no, my mom wouldn't hurt me. I really fell. And he did. He fell pulling the trash bin up. Somehow he slid and went nose into it and broke his nose. So, and I rushed him to the hospital immediately. I was there. His dad came. I don't know. I guess they knew we weren't abusing him, but they did take all the precautions. So why is it when a child is not being abused, the precautions are taken? But when a child is being abused, it's like people just happen to look the other way. I guess I'll never understand.